Hey everyone, welcome back. I wanted to just do a little video on van life, and since I've been doing it, I mean, the reason I did van life was obviously because of my situation. Not that I couldn't afford anywhere to live. I was going through a breakup and had the van, and as you know, moved into it. But since I've been doing van life, I've realised that the state of affairs in our country is forcing people, and it is forcing people, but people are also choosing to move into their vans because living in this country is just too expensive. I was watching a video on YouTube just the other day, and the chap had been doing some figures, and he was coming up with that in 1987 the average wage was just a little under £20,000, so just over 19,000 it was, and the average house price was 41,000. So basically it was only double his annual salary to buy a house. And then if you look at the average salary in today's life, it's £28,000, and the average house price is nearly £300,000 as an average house price. And that is just something that really none of us are going to be able to do, is buy a house with that sort of money at those sorts of prices. And if you add on top of that the rising cost of electric and gas and all the other bills, TV, it makes the cost of living in this country so much that we are all just working to live. We're working a lot of hours. We're working 5 to 6 days a week to try and survive, just so we have somewhere to live and are able to have a proper life and enjoy it. And most of us are living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, and it's only when you move into a van you realize that everybody is struggling, and there is going to come a point where so many more people are going to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, I want a better quality of life. And things like van life and living out of your van can give you that better quality of life, just in the fact that you are not giving your money to somebody for a house or for rent or for bills. That money is then going in your pocket to be able to better your life and enjoy life a lot more. It's a reason a lot of people are choosing to leave this country, because we make it so impossible for the average person to live. And I've never thought that I didn't earn a lot of money. I mean, I don't earn huge amounts, but if I crunch the numbers, I should be able to live quite comfortably, especially with a partner as well who also works. But we can't even afford to buy a house because it's just too expensive, and then we're paying rent on such small places that aren't kept up, in terms of being looked after by the landlords. It's just become crazy. And it's only since I've moved into my van that I've realized that I don't want to keep paying these bills, putting money in other people's pockets, and for what? I'm working all these hours to keep a house that I'm barely in. So if you put that into perspective, we buy these houses and we're barely in them because we're out trying to earn money to keep them, and we're only just being able to do that. Everything has just become ridiculous. We can't afford to eat out. Buying a meal, if you go out for dinner, it's a horrendous price. Two people eating can easily cost you 50, 60 pounds just on something, a main dish and a drink, and it's easily 60 pounds. Back along, I remember everything was just like, if a meal was over a tenner, it was a steak meal, or it was a mixed grill, or it was something worth good money. But now it's just like you're paying £15 for what? For pasta. It's just ridiculous. And then people wonder why places are closing down, shops are closing down. It's just become ridiculous, and it's like the country doesn't care. The people who run the country don't seem to be able to do anything about it. It seems like things are getting more expensive. They're taking away certain benefits from certain people. We got the winter coming, it's going to be cold, and those heat allowances that were there, they're going to be going, and it's just, what are we left with? I mean, I love this country. I'm proud to be British and live here, but it's just become crazy. And we're losing a lot of people to other countries, and many people are throwing it up in the air and going, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get myself a van and I'm going to live in it, and I'm not going to pay this money, I'm not going to keep paying these bills. And when you're in a van, you start pondering and you start thinking about these things. And I think van life is going to become a big thing. I think a lot of people are going to be doing way more of it than they are now. It's just going to become bigger, and it's just crazy. If I don't live in a van, I think I would definitely consider living somewhere else, in a country that's perhaps cheaper, and we're not being ripped off. And I just feel that in this country, we as people are being ripped off, and it's such a shame that we have to go to the extremes of living in a van to make life better for us, more comfortable. If I live in a van, I can park anywhere. Again, there's things like parking costs and stuff like that, which I plain refuse to pay. And if I do have to, I begrudge it so much, and I'm always ending up with some sort of bill, or I haven't done it right, or I've gone over the time, or I haven't paid in the right way. They're always trying to catch you to get money out of you, and I think the country knows that we're going to be moving into things like vans, and they're making it harder for us to move around the country. They're going to make it harder for us to insure vehicles, camper vans and whatnot, because they know that we're onto them, and that we're not going to accept what's happening, and they're going to try and stop us from doing these things every step of the way. And God knows what's going to happen. But I as a single person, I wouldn't opt to live in a house again, unless I got back into a relationship perhaps, or got back with my partner, I would then consider it, but it's something I think I'd have a conversation with them around, perhaps doing something different, whether it's moving into a larger van, or a camper van, or, you know, looking at other countries, because, you know, I'm not willing to, after living in a van, paying out all that money just for something that I'm never in, because I'm having to work so hard to keep it. It's just crazy. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Pop them in the comments. What do you think? How do you think it's going to go? What's your experience? How do you feel about the country, and about how things are? You know, it'd be interesting to hear everybody's thoughts. Just one from me.